If you really want to know what makes it go, what takes it high or sends it low down, well, you can work it out if you just learn about the way things work. If you really want to know how it can ride or bump and jump or glide and slide, you ought to take a little look inside the way things work and watch the thingamabob that turns the knob, that makes the jigger jig, that turns the thingamajig, that pulls the trigger, that makes the digger dig. If you really want to know how it can fly without a wing or string to tie with, you find the same simple rules apply with the way things work.
The day had arrived for the annual Mammoth Island Golf Tournament. I had borrowed a set of clubs and was looking forward to taking part. But I soon discovered that on Mammoth Island, golf is a very dangerous game. But despite this, the islanders took the tournament very seriously, and a huge crowd always turned out to watch. Olive, I thought you said Pilbeam was one of the best golfers on the island.
He is. Some of the players take ages to get round the course. Sometimes Pilbeam can manage it in less than a week.
As well as taking part, Pilbeam was also the official tournament artist. Because the game took so long, the best player on each day was awarded with a portrait painted by Pilbeam. Unfortunately, Pilbeam was a very slow painter. He had yet to finish the portraits from last year's tournament or even the years before. So, who is the best golfer?
Oh, that'd be Troy.
Go! So, go!
Troy had won every tournament since he had been old enough to take part. It was easy to keep track of his progress around the golf course. Mammoths made the perfect golf caddies. They were the only animals that wouldn't get bored and wander off. Mind you, once a mammoth's moving, it's pretty hard to stop.
Hey, that's weird.
What's that, Olive?
See where the mammoth was standing? The grass that was covered by the mammoth's shadow didn't get as much sunlight as the grass outside the shadow, so it isn't as green.
What are you thinking about, Olive?
Well, we were lucky to get this image of a mammoth, so maybe we could get some new images on purpose. I think this could solve the problem of Pilbeam painting the winners' portraits in time. Do you remember last year? Pilbeam had only just finished the portrait of Troy when he was 8.
And that's why, when Troy won that day's play, he spent the next day pegged out on the grass.
Hey, I want to play golf with the others.
At the end of the day, Olive let Troy up off the grass.
See? It worked! The world's first grass portrait. It's much quicker than using paint.
Oh, it's not much fun if you're the one lying there, though.
And it's going to have to be trimmed every day or else the grass will grow and you won't be able to see it.
And who's going to come all the way out here to look at it? It needs a frame. Pictures are meant to be hung on walls.
A frame? I think I can do something about that.
When Pilbeam got an idea into his head, there was never much point in trying to stop him.
Bricks, what are you going to build out here?
Well, I suppose it makes sense.
There. Now it's got a frame. What do you think?
That's very good, Uncle Pilbeam, but it's still a bit, well, flat.
But Pilbeam had already thought of that.
It's nearly there. See? Perfect. admit it was a little heavy.
Hey, what's happened? Something's gone wrong with my skin.
Don't worry, Troy. It's only sunburn. So, just like being out of the sun turned the grass pale, so being in the sun makes other things change colour. Cool! Perhaps we could use this to make images. If we could just find the right way to do it.
To try Olive's idea, we spent the rest of the day and most of the night mixing chemicals and testing them. Or rather, I did, as Olive was a little too young for experiments that could be dangerous. Olive had stumbled on the principle behind all kinds of photography. To make images this way, you need light, a lens, and a sheet of glass, which is coated with light-sensitive chemicals. As a result of our intensive research, we discovered that certain silver compounds have the right properties. When light from the bright parts of the image is focused through the lens onto the silver compounds spread on the glass plate, the silver compounds change. Back in the darkroom, the plate is washed in more chemicals. First in the developer, which causes an image to develop or appear, and then in the fixer, which washes away any remaining silver compounds to make the image permanent. The initial image is a negative. On a negative, all the light spots are dark, and all the dark spots are light. In other words, the other way around from a natural or positive image. The next day, Troy was declared the winner once again.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm not spending tomorrow tidying the grass.
Don't worry, Troy. You won't have to. All you've got to do is stand there. This camera will do the rest. Could you move out of the way? Please, Auntie Brenda.
Well, really?
OK, take off the lens cap.
Up there. It left a bit.
Oh, gosh. Couldn't you have made this a bit lighter?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, you can put it back on now.
OK, Olive. Up we go. Right a bit.
Up a bit.
Is that it?
Yep. Now all we've got to do is get it back to the studio and develop the plate. Come on.
Does she mean
I'm
us?
afraid so. Come on. Now, once the image has been fixed to the plate, you can print the picture. This is done by using a lamp to shine light through the negative. This light is focused through another lens onto a sheet of paper, which has been coated in the same kind of chemicals as the plate. This all takes place using a device called an enlarger. And this was the largest enlarger I had ever seen. All that remained was to develop and fix the image with yet more chemicals, and the photograph will be ready for display.
Oh, hello, Troy.
Hey, Mum.
Oh, hello, Troy. Troy, but we just...
I think our photograph turned out marvellously, Olive.
Yeah, it's great. It's much quicker than waiting for Pilbeam to paint a picture. 5 seconds instead of 5 years. But I wonder if it could be even easier. You know, if the camera was smaller and if we didn't have to use sheets of glass to capture the image.
Olive wasn't the first person to ask exactly that same question. And one of the answers they came up with was the single lens reflex camera, or SLR. Many cameras use 2 different sets of lenses. One to view the image and one to throw it onto the film, which was developed to replace the heavy and fragile glass plates. The single lens reflex camera uses only one set of lenses. It works like this. When light from the object you want to photograph travels through the camera's lens, it hits a hinged mirror that sits in front of the film. The mirror reflects the light up through a viewing screen and onto what's called a pentaprism. Oh, this is a carefully shaped piece of glass that bounces the light around inside it, then sends it out through the viewfinder on the top of the camera. When the person taking the photograph is happy with the image, they press the shutter release and, in the blink of an eye, the mirror hinges upwards. This lets the light hit the film at the back of the camera, creating an image. Then the mirror returns to where it started and the photographer can wind the film on and get ready to take another picture. Pillbeam, smile!
Huh?
Perfect.
Oh.
Frank! That's it, Frank. Hold that pose. Hey, all in one! Olive was so impressed by my camera, I let her take the tournament winner's photograph. And the winner was, of course, Troy. Pillbeam, meanwhile, had been busy in his studio.
Well, what do you think?
I'll tell you what I think if you tell me what it is.
It's Troy.
It doesn't look anything like me.
Well, I like it, Pillbeam.
So do I.
I just thought that now we've got cameras to take pictures of how things should look, I could try something a bit different.
Well, it's certainly that.
So, would you like to sit for a portrait then, Brenda?
You must be joking. Not if I'm going to end up looking like that.
Auntie Brenda, watch out for that paint.
Well, you don't need to worry about painting Brenda anymore, Pillbeam.
Looks like she painted herself.